Hello there. Today I'm going to do another video on my experience with a microphone, and today the microphone is the Mojave MA-201fet microphone. So yeah, the purposes of this video is basically to tell you what my experience with it has been. At this point, it is my favorite condenser microphone, I have to say that. And it is perhaps, something might have surpassed it since, but when I went shopping for it, it was the lowest priced microphone that had a transformer built in that I found. Now, as you may know if you've done some research, transformers are pretty important. They have an important effect on the sound of a microphone, and it's something that when I was shopping on the different sites that have sound samples, was evident to me that I wanted a microphone with a transformer if possible. Of course I do have some condenser microphones that don't have transformers that I bought before that are less expensive, but having a transformer is an important part of the sound for me. And so, what else can I say about this microphone? I'm a bit disappointed that for the price, the microphone doesn't have a high-pass filter. That would have been very nice. So, with this microphone, I think for the price they could have put in a high-pass filter. It's a bit of a shame, and sometimes if you get a little too, do a little too much foot tapping or whatever, you can get these low frequency pulsations in the microphone therefore. Also, I feel that the accessories of this microphone are a bit disappointing for the price. The shock mount is metal, and it's okay, but in the stand, it doesn't really stand straight up that well for whatever reason. It tends to be a little crooked, which is a little annoying. It doesn't look quite as good on a stand as it probably should for the price. And also I find the case that it comes with a little small and a little cheap, again for the price of the microphone. So as far as the, I realize it's supposed to be a, it is a microphone that's made in China, but the most important thing about a microphone is how it sounds, and with that I'm really quite pleased, I must say. I listened to a lot of samples on the internet, and for the price, to get that sound at that price, it's really hard to beat. So one thing of note about this microphone, because it doesn't have a high-pass filter, the low frequency response is not that high. So for a typical usage of this microphone in a track with other instruments, if you're using it on voice or acoustic guitar, it's really great. On the other hand, if you want to use it alone, like I've done some recordings using only this microphone, like if you like recording yourself, a guitar and voice just on one microphone in one take, you may, depending on your taste, decide that this microphone doesn't have enough bass response. I wouldn't say it sounds necessarily light, but if you compare it to other microphones, like I have a Shure KSM-32 that I'd like to do a video on at some point as well. There's a lot more bass response from the Shure KSM-32 for sure, which can be annoying in some circumstances as well. So for anyway, that's just one point I wanted to make about the sort of, I wouldn't call it lack of bass response, but it's not bass heavy, and you wouldn't want to only record a bass instrument with this microphone. It just wouldn't be enough bass, at least in my opinion. But where this microphone is really strong is it has a really nice high frequency presence without being harsh, which for low price condenser microphones is really hard to find. And this is really where this microphone shines, to be able to get really nice, I don't know if I'd really go as far as calling it airy, but there's really a decent high frequency presence with basically no harshness. And I think that's what they were going for when designing this microphone, trying to bring to the market a Chinese-made condenser microphone at an affordable price that has a certain amount of air, so to speak, but not harsh. And almost all of the lower priced condenser microphones, especially the ones made in China, and most of them are made in China, although that seems like it might be changing, really, you buy them and at first it sounds cool, but after you work with them for a while, it starts getting irritating, I can tell you. My first condenser microphone, like a lot of people's, was the Rode NT1A. I really don't use it anymore unless I have to. The top end is just really annoying. But when you've never had a condenser microphone before, of course, it sounds really cool. So I understand why it's successful, and I understand why a lot of people, including myself, have to go through that. But after you spend enough time recording and mixing, you'll probably find that type of microphone irritating on the top end. Too much high frequency information that can get a little harsh quite easily. And particularly when recording singing, a microphone like the Rode NT1A is pretty awful in terms of sibilance. And this is where a microphone like the Mojave MA-201fet really shines. You can get a really good sounding vocal. It sounds really rich. The whole frequency spectrum, minus maybe a little bass, like I said, but in the context of a full mix, it's beautiful. You wouldn't want any more bass than that. In the context of a full mix where you have, guitar, bass, drums, keyboard, you don't feel like there's anything lacking at all. As I said before, the only time when you might feel like something's lacking on this microphone in terms of bass is if you actually tried to record a bass instrument, and if you're thinking of doing that, I wouldn't recommend it. So in terms of instruments specifically, this microphone is great on voice, great on acoustic guitar. I've recorded ukulele with this microphone, but the ukulele that I have now, I find to be a little bit too trebly out of this microphone. I prefer the KSM32 for that, for sure. And I have done some experimentation, like on my Fender Kingman acoustic bass. Sometimes I pair this microphone, I could record the acoustic part of the bass with this microphone, and I pair it with the DI of the bass to get enough bass out of it. And that can work well. If you try to record a bass instrument two different ways with this microphone, for example, you could use this microphone to record the treble part and then use, for example, one of my favorite microphones for recording bass, the Electro Voice RE20 for the bass portion. That would work well. But it doesn't have enough bass to record a bass alone using only this microphone. So I think I've gone over all the points. Basically, to summarize once again, it sounds excellent for the price. Definitely a groundbreaking microphone at the time it was released. As far as sound versus price is concerned, but with a couple caveats: somewhat a lack of bass, no high pass filter, and you have accessories that are perhaps a little lacking for the price paid. That's my summary of the Mojave MA-201fet. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video. If you want to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe below. Thanks. Bye-bye.